Testing, testing. All right. It is now 2:30 on Tuesday, March 5th, so I'm calling the meeting to order for the Finance Committee for the Indian Wells Valley Water District. With that, call to order. Are there any committee or public comments? I see none out there, so move on to fraud discussion, potential for actual fraud risk within the organization.
Yeah, we have nothing to report.
Good deal, thanks. All right, Northwest Transmission Line Funding.
So last week we finished the final pricing on the bonds. And they worked on getting the sellers. We anticipate bond closure next week and receiving the money either by the end of next week or shortly thereafter. So it's $7.45 million. That will go with the $3 million from the state for funding the Northwest Transmission Line and the Springer Line.
What was the percentage interest? 4 point?
Yeah, 4 1/4 or 4.2.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
A little better than I expected. All right, so we're gonna get started pretty quick here.
This won't hold it up. This part won't.
Okay.
It's
It's all in Jason and Renee's back now, right? You did your part. Good work.
We're just waiting on the contractor to finish all the contract stuff.
Okay. Yeah, and you have to have those reviewed by legal and
Yep.
everything, make sure it's fine. Okay. And that's it? All right. Anything else on that? Nobody in the public? Nobody online?
There's
All
one
right.
person observing.
Way down. Okay. GA imported water costs. Discuss imported water costs, potential impact to customer bills.
I have one comment, and I think we'll be bringing to the board at the regular meeting a request to move forward with getting an estimate on the imported water line project and the cost of water from CEC, and move forward with that sooner as opposed to later. The rationale is based on the fact that the potential authorization for funding is in Word of 2024, according to the GA and some of our contacts we've made politically, and could be authorized as soon as this year. In addition, it appears they may be moving forward at some point with a water purchase, so we'd like to get ahead of that so you guys have the best information possible to make decisions with. You'll see that at the regular board meeting.
Okay.
You
Are we gonna
could
get
do
all the
that now,
information?
but
Yeah. All right. Do you anticipate getting all the information and costing you need from the GA out of pipeline, or are we just gonna take whatever they have made public and use that?
the GA has tentatively agreed to cooperate with Clean Energy Capital in developing the costs.
Okay. Any comments about that, David? Anything to move ahead on that? All right. You know, I have to say this, I'm hoping that the biggest purpose we're gonna use this for is to prepare us for the future financially. But and also I take it that this is, will become public information. So the public will understand what this can end up costing, or at least our ratepayers, I should say.
Correct.
As well as the public, because I assume this is going to tap into things like, here's what is expected to go on water bills, and here's what is expected to go on property taxes.
Correct. Those are the type of things we're gonna look at, and then we're gonna have factors for, if the pipeline project goes over for every 10 million, it goes over a projected budget, this is how much additional cost would be incurred, and same for things like water purchases and whatnot.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, because whatever final bottom line they come up with that they agree to, you can almost guarantee that in the course of the next 6, 8 years, whatever it is, 10 years, an extra millions of dollars more.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea.
When it was originally described, they were claiming it would only be a $30 million project, to which I replied, it's 300 if it's anything.
Yeah.
So
300 million, that is, not $300.
So you're gonna propose moving ahead with that quicker than next fiscal year?
yeah, and that's primarily driven by the fact that I think you would want that information before it became sort of authorized by Congress, so that you could comment on it if that were to pass in Word of 24, which would likely be in the August, September, October timeframe of this year. The GA might have the authorization from Congress for the $150 million. If that were to come true, I think you guys would want to be able to understand what that really means, because that means they're going to push forward.
That means we as a board and the district need to make a decision on the cost on this end. because at this particular point, I don't see us bringing that into our system. So all the costs we're talking about, which would have to modify our system, and plus we'd have to change the way we operate as handling surface water. So I just don't see that happening. So hopefully that when they start working up the cost, they talk with our engineering staff.
George can correct me, but I thought that was part of the scope, right? To look at
Yep.
injection wells and all
Yeah,
that.
so they're gonna look at like modifications to our system that would include things like in some sort of ASR injection type well here that we, if they won't put it in on their project, because the initial thing is just, let's get the cost as they've designed it, and then let's add on to that the things we think we need to our system, and that's gonna include an injection well, because we think we can't manage
Okay, so
the
that would,
flow with
that
that.
would, that would be at the cost of the GA, but we'd be estimating the cost because they don't want to.
So
Correct.
we are,
Correct.
Okay,
we should discuss bounding the study, because I don't see the district putting in an injection well and taking responsibility for injecting into the groundwater provided by the county groundwater authority. Especially at the prices that they would have to charge us for that water. So if they want to import water, and we can take some, that's great. But if they want to inject the water, or it needs to be injected in the ground, I don't believe the water district has any part in that.
I think what George is saying, and maybe the staff, is that it may be that we have to come up with that cost, even though we don't intend to do it.
We can estimate the cost.
We have to have a cost.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that I don't think the
No.
water district is responsible for either taking that water or for injecting it in the ground.
I agree.
I'm
Yeah.
sure whomever is chosen to have jurisdiction over the pipeline will also have jurisdiction over the injection well.
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
To your point, I think that having those numbers of what those costs are in front of you will help you make those decisions and recommendations, is what we're hoping.
Okay,
In the meantime, there's nothing that says we can't contact our congressmen and senators and tell them that there's not actually a good estimate as to how much this is going to cost, and that it's premature to fund this project.
I think that moving on with the cost estimate and the impact on different scenarios, as long as we're involved in what
Yeah.
the scenarios are, and what the cost is, that is GA, and what the cost is that would be part of the district. Okay, so, and they'll do all that, and so I don't know how you would do the contacts with that. I guess they'd work along with you, George, and Ty, and Renee, and I guess engineering. I'm not sure how they're gonna get all these numbers that they're gonna need without working with a lot of the staff.
Yeah, they're gonna work with our staff, and there's a lot of these costs that we have some sort of estimate for, and then they have, this is what they do for a living.
Yeah.
They provide these cost estimates, and
I don't think anybody's arguing that we shouldn't get them to do the estimate.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're in violent agreement about that.
And it's an opportunity to present the project as we believe it would happen.
Yeah.
You know, if
Right.
if it actually came to fruition, which I hope not.
Well, we'll find out when the estimate's done,
Yep.
including the cost per acre foot. And if they're as high as our guts telling us, then there's no faster way to end this town than to import water to save it.
Sort of a strange way to go. You're right, though. All right. Anything else on this subject? George, is this going to be on the?
It is.
On the.
yeah, it'll be on the.
It is.
Tomorrow, okay.
the board.
Well, that's all. I'll see it tomorrow. All right. Fourth quarter 2023 investment reports.
Yeah, so this is currently where our cash is
Okay.
for the quarter ended December 2023. We do these on a quarterly basis. You see, we have 9.67 million in unrestricted funds and 621,000 in restricted, for a total of 10,292,000. And then you can see the different reserves that most of those reside in.
Okay. Yeah, restricted funds are, what does that include?
We've got some leftover proceeds from Assessment District 87-1, and then we have the capital facility fees.
Okay, all right. And the unrestricted of, all right. I don't believe I have any questions. I'm looking at your, the reserves. Which of the reserves presently is underfunded? All of them?
The capital improvement,
Okay,
because we wanted to get enough to fund the reconstruction of a well,
Well,
a booster station,
And a
and
tank, right?
and a tank,
What's the
which was
target?
coming in at about 10 million.
Hmm.
okay.
So we had more in that fund, but as you know, we lost some reservoirs, so that money shifted over there to fund that,
That's
as
right.
it was designed to do.
Okay.
So
So it's rebuilding.
yeah,
We have to replenish the fund. Thank
yeah.
you.
I don't like that word, replenish.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe we could put a fee associated with that.
Rebuild, vehicle replacement. I'm
It's a
just
joke
looking at
for those
these.
people who are watching the meeting.
Alternate water supply, that's actually looks in pretty good shape. Have we been tapping into that at all?
We haven't.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of interest
and-
rate do we get?
And emergency reserve is committed.
What's that, Renee?
I was asking what kind of interest rate we get on from Lathe,
Um,
Green County Treasurer.
That's good.
I think it's hovering around 2% right now.
Oh, whopping
Better than the
2%.
past, it was
It is
less
better
than
than the past.
1%.
Well, interest rates have gone up. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should buy our own bonds.
Yeah.
It'd be like the central
I
bank.
don't know if that's, no, we better not talk about that.
Like the National Bank does that. I don't know why we can't.
Okay.
That is also a joke for those who are observing this
The
meeting.
emergency reserves, that's committed, that's operating for X number of days or months, correct?
6 months.
6
operating.
months.
Okay.
Just trying to get familiar with this, Ty. It's been a while since I've been on this committee. And the emergency reserves,
That's basically your fund balance after everything else.
okay. Okay, all right. It balances everything out, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, I got no questions. Anybody in the TV land or
It is.
YouTube land, I guess? Yeah, okay.
In these days, it is vitally important that the district maintain properly funded emergency funds. Absolutely necessary. We already learned that from the earthquake, and we need to rebuild these. I'm not saying anything anybody doesn't agree with, but this is for posterity should anyone decide this committee meeting is interesting enough to review. And we have 2 people viewing us now.
I suspect.
If we doubled it, 100%
I
increase.
suspect that it's gonna take a while here because of what's going on these next few years.
It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough to start rebuilding any of these, so I don't see that we'll see a lot of action on for at least a couple of years, until we get through what's going on with all the, I'll call it outside influences at this point. Are you comfortable with this, Ty?
No, I always like more, but
Well, you're like me, you like to have everybody paid off and a lot of money for
But, I
this stuff.
mean, we're doing a lot better than many other districts or cities where we have 6 months of operating reserves set aside. That's a good target. I know I was at the California Finance Officers Conference a month ago, and there were some cities that set their target for like 15%. And that doesn't get you very far.
No, it doesn't get you anywhere at all, type of thing. Okay. But I like your commitment to that. You like to see it more. I agree with that.
These two can attest to that.
Yeah. Please, Ty, can I have the money for this project?
No, it's
Okay.
important. I mean, and we all have to recognize that, in the event of emergency like the earthquake we had, the federal government can be slow to respond. The state can be slow to get us funding,
Right.
We need to be prepared.
Okay.
Yeah, and even with the state, when we did have the earthquakes, Cal OES paid us, it was on a reimbursement basis.
That's right.
So you gotta front the money first and then
Right.
say, please, sir, give me more.
And it takes, yeah, exactly.
And FEMA couldn't find enough damage to declare us officially a disaster area and make FEMA loans available.
Right.
The Small Business Administration stepped in, though, and put out a bunch of loans, which I'm grateful for.
All right. No comments?
No comment.
We'll move on to the financial statements.
Okay, through February 2024, we have actual revenues of 9.9 million, which is 789,000 below budget. With the caveat that 600,000 of that is GSA fees, and we estimated high before we found out what pumping was. So if you look, I know it's a little off my normal format. But if you look at GSA fees that we've collected versus what we have paid, we're not that far off. You know,
Okay.
Okay.
and that's a timing differential there. On the expenditure side, 11.2 million, which is 548,000 below budget. But you see our net is a negative 1.3 million. So we've slipped from last year. We're at a negative 240,000 compared to the net budget. That's for a couple things. We did have that 135,000 we paid for posting of the adjudication.
Right.
That
Yeah.
wasn't budgeted for.
Yeah.
You know, we're tapped out on our legal budget already, so anything there is just affecting our bottom line from there on out.
So we're 240,000 over budget at this time.
For the net, yeah.
Okay.
Capital expenditures 1.5 million, debt service principal 741,000, and to date we have paid 13,682,000 to the GSA.
Since its inception.
Yes.
So this is accurate through the end of February?
Yes.
Okay. March, April, May. So we're looking at what, 3 more months? 3 more months or 4 months in this fiscal year?
4 more months.
4 more months.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd anticipate that we might see things get a little bit worse. I'm just thinking because the expenses I foresee.
Well, I don't see legal slowing down at this point.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And then that's where we're gonna get, yeah.
Yeah, we've got trial dates coming and prep work to do, and that can't be put
And
off.
with the notification that went out, now you know there's more phone calls to Murphy and Everett's, which costs us $40 every time someone calls them. So
That'll give us a break on that. Yeah, that's sort of, are they getting a number of calls?
we are here up front. Yes,
Okay.
and that's we refer them to the website, our website that has
Right.
the FAQ for it, and then we refer if the additional questions it has Murphy and Everett's number on there.
Okay.
There's also some active community volunteers who are monitoring Facebook and helping to make people
Yes,
understand what's
and-
what.
So now she
We
can
really
just,
appreciate that.
so now she can say, just call this number. I truly believe she likes doing it and trying to get the correct information out there to everybody. As I don't know what, I'd be pulling my hair out over the whole thing and trying to explain to certain people what's going on.
She's very,
How are you guys handling it on this end? Do calls get forwarded to George or?
They go through customer accounts.
Okay,
Yeah, and like I said, they just refer them to, as we've been told, it's refer them to the FAQ and,
right to the law firm.
yeah.
Okay.
Don't give any legal advice.
Right, exactly. All right.
somebody who'd only charge $20 an hour, $20 a phone call.
Yeah, I know. Excuse me.
That,
All
for
right.
us, we're viewing is also a joke.
All right, let's see. I don't think I have any other questions on this. Like I said, I sort of expect to see certain expenses go up as we get here near the end of the fiscal year.
Just as a heads up, then there's a memorandum in your mailbox, if you may not seen it. It's a request from retirees for an increase in health benefits.
I haven't been there yet.
Okay. We won't talk about it, I'll let you read it first.
Okay. Is this, well, it's not on the agenda anyway here,
It's
this
not.
particular point. Okay. All right,
But it needs to be.
all right, I don't see anything here. Anything, comments,
No.
questions? None? All right, accounts payable, disbursements. Let me take a quick glance.
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to just
I just,
call me out or just let you look and ask questions.
I'll just look at the very first page, the US Bank credit card.
Yeah.
That's the first I've seen this one on here. I don't recall seeing, unless it was included
It's in there every month.
in there every month.
Yeah, that's just
All
paid
right.
for a cow card.
It's just the first bill to hit the new pay period, is that it? Okay.
Okay. All right. Is that typically the amount?
Yeah, hovers
It
around
runs
there.
pretty much,
Yeah. That's, you taking a trip to Home Depot or
Also at
whatever.
my house.
You
I know you gave me that look, but we do everything so we can get all the points on it.
Filtronics for $64,905 and
That's a,
change.
that's a down payment for the media for the arsenic plants.
Okay, and Jason, is that gonna be an annual hit or?
That's a one-time fee. This is the first 50%. There'll be another one, that exact amount when we actually receive the media, and then we're done.
Okay.
And that's typically, well, what, it's been 10 years, 13 years. Yeah,
Wow.
so.
That's a, yeah, okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So let's see. Okay, Edison.
They're Southern California Edison, are they going to charge us according to our income?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Outside. There's that Aqua JPI payment.
Yep. That's insurance, is it not?
Yeah,
That is,
okay.
That's monthly?
that is.
And is CalPERS?
Some of that's covered by the employees, that's the health insurance, so
Okay.
there's a portion the district pays, and then there's the portion that.
Right.
I was just starting to figure out how, that was a significant portion of the entire business district's budget if it was paid all by ourselves.
As you say that, I did get notice for the rates for our property liability and workers' comp insurance for next year, and it's going up $100,000. So we were paying about 400,000. It's next year it's 500,000.
For liability and workers' comp,
Yeah.
that figures.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
hopefully Vince Fong has some success working on all this insurance stuff as he discussed at the EOC.
Yeah, the insurance in the state, they're,
It's a mess,
it's a
yeah.
disaster.
It is. And nice to know we have a local representative who cares.
Right. Well, it's going to be, November is coming, and so that's an opportunity to help put people in positions of authority that can address these issues sensibly.
Springbrook Holding,
That's our yearly licensing fee.
all
for
right.
Our financial system.
Okay, for the billing and so forth?
Yeah, for all of it, yeah. Billing, inventory, general ledger.
T-Mobile,
And that's annual.
Yes. And hosting on the cloud.
What's that, Jason? Thank you for that clarification.
I was confused, thanks, yeah. All right. Now, we have a third one.
Yeah, because
February had,
just how it hit. 1st of February was the first. account
okay, and then,
month,
all right.
and then it's every 2 weeks, so.
Good God, man.
So February, the shortest month, has some of the total amounts going out, the highest.
That leap day threw it off.
That leap day threw it all off, yeah.
Krieger and Stewart.
Yeah.
Say, that doesn't seem unusually, well, it seems like which
It's.
we expect,
Yeah,
typical anyway.
well, Krieger's, they're working on quite a few things.
Yep.
Besides
Oh, yeah.
just-
There's a
yeah,
boatload of things.
yeah. Murphy and Everett. Is that the last payment to Ramble? At 17,000? Are we done with that yet?
No,
Can I say I hope so?
I thought they were,
I don't believe so.
I thought they were done. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Ramble is the company that Tim works for, correct?
No,
Yeah.
Tim doesn't work for them.
Yes, he does.
Tim now works for, what happened with Parker
He
Enterprises?
builds Parker Enterprises, and then he also does work for Ramble.
Okay, so he has his
We get
own,
bills for both.
he has his own company, and then he also works for
I
Ramble.
was just wondering, you might, were you thinking that was the overflight services?
No, that's a long time ago. This is the work that they're doing, for the, technical group, correct?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Ramble America's Engineering Solutions, that sounds like something Tim would be in too. Because I didn't see his name on here anywhere. Is he strictly billing as Ramble now?
I
I didn't
get some with, some without.
Yeah.
Depends on the month.
I didn't see any Parker
Groundwater.
groundwater.
Maybe, it might depend on what particular piece he's working on.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay. I don't see anything there. Do you, Dave?
No.
Any comments?
Nothing
questions?
well,
Nothing for the,
I was gonna say nothing alarming, but it all looks fairly typical.
expenditures are always alarming.
Yes, they are.
I do need a recommendation on that.
I'm getting ready for
Okay.
that, yeah. So you're ahead of me, all right? I may be a little slow, but, okay. So, David, would you like to,
I would like to recommend that that the board adopt these reports.
and approve payment of the accounts payable?
Absolutely.
That's the main thing. I agree. So be it.
Let it be so.
Let it be so. So you got me all off course there, Ty. I mean, I thought it had.
I apologize.
Yeah. I'll get even. All right. All right. Future agenda items.
The memorandum, is that going to be addressed at the board of directors meeting? Anybody idea what I'm talking about?
We just got that today.
Okay, so then if it doesn't address at the board meeting, then this needs to be on our agenda for next month, if not sooner.
Is it something that is a public issue as well? Is it strictly for a finance committee, I should say? Or is it part
That I
of the
don't know.
policy?
We should probably run it.
It sounds like a personnel thing, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a personnel thing.
Oh, yeah, this has come up once before.
Okay. So that's gonna filter through you, George, right? And then it'll make its way to the board. Okay,
Get to
that's
into the
fine.
proper committee. I don't know if it should be the administrative committee and then the
Sounds
finance
like,
committee. And
that's
then
right, that's right.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's what we'll go
You're
with.
correct.
All right. All right. Anything else? All right.
No, sir.
If hearing anything, George, that's it.
KTLA 5,
I'm good.
go
You're
ahead.
good. All right.
KTLA 5, I believe, had a news report listing Ridgecrest as one of the most livable cities in the entire state of California.
Livable or affordable?
Affordable,
Okay.
yeah, well, I find it livable,
Yeah,
but
They haven't seen our future water rates.
All right.
Not ours, the GAs, I'm sorry.
We are still live.
okay, I have nothing else, sir.
All right. With that, I'll close the meeting at 2:57. Thank you.